All right, we're ready. Okay, this is the time and place for the city commission meeting on Monday, April 26th, 2021. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Smith.
Here.
Clue.
Here.
Brad.
Here.
Robish.
Present.
Mayor Harrington.
Here. Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, agenda approval. Do we have anybody, we have one item to add to the consent agenda, so we could do that. Does anybody else have anything to add? We're going to add 6.9 to the consent agenda then.
And what is that?
What that is, it's the recommendation correction of a step and grade for Dennis Maud, effective 1/3/21, from grade 20 to step A, 2765, to grade 20, step B, 2820. That's just that.
Move to approve the agenda as amended.
Need a second from that?
Second.
Mr. Schick, roll call, please.
Commissioner Smith.
Aye.
Brad.
Aye.
Clue.
Aye.
Robish.
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. Thank you. With that, the city commission now adjourns to convene as a board of adjustment for the following public hearing. A variance request filed by Alan Armstrong, 955 Saxton Drive, to construct a 6-foot tall fence where code states that on corner lots, 6-foot fence must also be constructed with a rear yard adjacent to the side street, with such yard does not constitute a front yard of abutting a lot in area zone R4. So with that, our city planner will talk about that.
Okay, thank you,
Barry?
Mayor.
Yep.
This is, Alan Armstrong is applying to put a 6-foot fence on the rear and the side of his property. This is a corner yard right on Arizona and Saxton Drive. And it's, if you'll recall, this is the same area we've been talking about sidewalks and everything else along this. He's on the west side of the road, and then on the north side of Saxton Drive right there. So he has come to us. He wants to kind of fence in his yard so we can use it a little better, and we had no problem with it. The building inspector did feel that on the north side of his property, on the northeast corner there, he would like to see a 12 by 12 safety triangle, a diagonal fence line in there, just to allow for better visibility. If we do put a sidewalk in there, he thinks that'll help with the visibility for pedestrians and for traffic. And the hearing examiner recommended approval with that condition. So we'd recommend approval with that.
Is Alan here?
Alan is right here, yes.
Okay, Alan's here, good. Do you have anything to add, Alan?
Nope, I think you covered it all. So I've got an existing fence on the backyard, and when they put it in, they stopped at the frontage for that corner lot, and I just want to extend that out, cut some trees. I already cut the trees out of there, so just want to extend that out and come around to the front of the shed.
You're good with the
Right, yes, and we are,
recommendation?
and in fact, one of the conditions that we wanted him to do, he's already complied with, is to locate those, the north and the south property lines on the east side, so that we knew exactly where that fence line was at, as in case we go forward with this fence line, or with this sidewalk project.
Okay.
So he's done that, and so we're in support of his application.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions for Alan or for Barry? Commissioner Smith, yes.
In reference to the height of the fence,
Mhm.
that is not an issue.
That's what the variance is for the 6 foot versus 4 foot. Normally, since he's on a corner lot, you can only have 4 feet that extends out to the face of your house. And so he's requesting a waiver from that and to get a variance to go to 6 foot.
And just for reference, what is the significance of it? Why does it have to be 4 feet for visibility? or-
Yes, it's, the way the ordinance reads is that essentially, if you live on the corner, you have 2 front yards, is the way that ordinance reads. And so you can't have 6 foot extending beyond the face of your house in a front yard. So that's what this variance does. On the north, or on the east side of the house, it allows him to go to a 6 foot level.
But based on the drawing, if he's in line with his garage, or I assume that's the shed, if you would, to the east of the house, is that where it's extending further than the house?
Yeah, the yellow line extends farther to the east.
Right, and that's where the proposed fence would go.
Right.
So if he wouldn't need the variance if he was to move that fence frontage, say, back 4 feet or something to get behind the front of his house. Am I on the right page on that?
No, because he's extending it quite a ways to the east from, so if you look at his house actually faces Saxton Drive there.
Correct.
Okay, so the fence line would run from the face of his garage all the way out to his property line, which is probably 25 feet,
Yep.
30 feet,
Well, 42 feet.
42
Shed,
feet.
yeah.
So it's quite a ways out there. And it would all have to be 4 foot. And so that's what he's asking for a variance from. Is that lineal foot, that 40 foot coming from his house going to the east and then to the north with the 12-foot diagonal cut to allow for that safety zone would all be 6 foot. And it would, normally if he went according to ordinance, it would all have to be 4 foot.
The whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Mayor.
Yes.
So the neighbors all know that. a
Yes, we had
and
no
one
comment.
objected to that.
We have had no objections to it.
So the 12-foot by 12-foot cutout, you believe satisfies the safety concern.
Right.
So really, we're probably just talking about an aesthetic concern.
Correct.
If we have one, I
Yeah.
guess.
Right.
And if the neighbors don't have a problem with it, I don't
Right.
know why I would.
We had no comments at all.
Yeah. Is it to keep a dog in, or?
Yeah, sir, I've got a dog and 4 kids, so it provides an additional area in the back there that they can, if I go to the 4 foot, it doesn't really provide that privacy aspect as well, so. That's
Privacy.
why I'm trying to capture that side yard. Yeah, I mean, typically it'd be the side yard, but means that it's a corner lot, it is considered that frontage, so that's why I'm applying for that variance there.
Commissioner Beck?
And it does, I mean, it matches, the rest of his fence is 6 feet, so I can see why aesthetically he'd want to match that. But Barry, the comments here, so the planner's comments refer the safety triangle cut out, installed at Arizona and Saxton. And then in the hearing examiner, it's just the 12 by 12 on the northeast
On the
corner.
north side.
Right.
So is that, which, I mean, he doesn't need to do a triangle at both, does he? 'Cause-
Well, he's back far enough on this fence line. What I was saying is that we wanted him to make sure he complied with the existing ordinance when it comes to the safety triangles. And he's back far enough, and if he's connecting to the face of that garage, that triangle will be created regardless. So he'll have that safety zone to see.
And then the triangle on the northeast corner is basically just for that one neighbor.
Right.
Because there's no
And
street there. it's just
that and
that driveway, right?
Right, and should there be new sidewalk in that area going forward at some point, that would allow better visibility.
Any
You're-
other questions?
You're fine with the triangle?
Yes, sir.
Any other questions? Do we have a motion to approve
I would move to approve the variance for the 6 foot with the triangle cutout.
Okay. Commissioner Roberts, thank you. I need a second on that.
Second.
Second, Commissioner Smith. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Smith,
Aye.
Clute,
Aye.
Robish,
Aye.
Bragg,
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. Thank you, Alan. I appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Andrew. Okay, sounds good. See you later.
Okay, the Board of Adjustment adjourns to reconvene as a city commission. Public forum. Public comments may be sent during a live meeting broadcast on the city's YouTube channel. The link is listed on the city's website at www.hursd.com/citygovernment. In order to use the YouTube chat feature, please create an account with your YouTube Gmail or use your existing accounts to please state your name and address for the record. Public forum is limited to a maximum of 3 minutes per person. Tonight on our computer that you could contact in to our HR Director, Nathan Hofer, is sitting there. If you have any questions, you can type those into him and he'll stop us and we'll try to answer your questions for you at this time. Other than that, I do have something in public forum I'd like to read. The City of Huron has the following job openings. Anyone interested may contact City's Huron Resource Development at 353-8505 or go to the city's website, HuronSD.com. We have full-time jobs as a street sweeper, traffic maintenance, police officer, police dispatch, and account clerk. We have part-time seasonal jobs as street department, parks and recreation, golf, and library. So if you're interested in that, give the city a call and we'll get some applications sent to you and we'll get that done for us. And with that, Commissioner Clute has some public.
Thank you, Mayor. Later on in the consent agenda, we're going to consider and recognize the retirement of Huron Clark from the Parks and Rec Director position. And I just wanted to speak to that just for a second because I've been the Park and Rec liaison for the last 2 years. He's going to be retiring at the end of May. And I can attest to how much he puts his heart and soul into that job. And on more than one occasion, I've heard him say that job is his life. And I think it shows from how he operates that department and how much he's accomplished in, I believe it's over 42 years that he's been in that position, and he's done a great job, and I just wanted to recognize that because that'll be a tough position to fill. And I think there'll be a retirement reception for him on May 21st, which I believe is a Friday, but I don't have the particulars. I would guess it would be at the campus center.
All right, thanks, Doug. I will share my comments about our Park and Rec Director, Huron Clark, at a later meeting, once we get closer to the end of his career with the city, which is 42 years. So we'll go from there. Any other public forum? All right, seeing none, we'll move on. We'll move on to the consent agenda. Matters appearing on the consent agenda are expected to be non-controversial, will be acted upon by the commission at one time without discussion unless a member of the commission requests an opportunity to address any given item. Items removed from the consent agenda will be discussed at the beginning of the formal items. 6.1, minutes of April 19, 2021 meeting. 6.2, fuel quotes from the city departments. 6.3, raffles, South Dakota Farmers Union, May 19th at the Huron Country Club. 6.4, accept the following gifts from the Huron Area Council: a soundboard, Huron Area Arts Council, a soundboard, a CD/Bluetooth player for the community campus and Fine Arts Center. 6.5, special event on alcoholic beverage license filed by Ben Drock, Benny D's licensed pro shop for a golf tournament May 21st, 23rd at Broadland Creek Golf Course. 6.6, fireworks display permit filed by Orville Chenoweth for July 1st at the Fairgrounds Grandstand infield in a closed portion of Market Street during the event. 6.7, personal items. Recommend the hiring of Rick Nelson for street maintenance 1. Recommend pay increase for Andrea Hofer for becoming a field training officer. Recommend pay increase for Josh Sterrett for becoming a field training officer. Recognize the retirement of LaRon Clark from the Park and Recreation Director's position. Request to fill and advertise the Park and Recreation Director. Terminate Nathan Griffin from the seasonal Ravine Lake Ranger position. Recommend hiring Galen Larson for the Ravine Lake Trail Ranger position. Promote Todd Larson from Water Sewer Maintenance Uncertified to Water Sewer Maintenance 1. Recommend hiring for seasonal park positions. And number 10, wage correction for seasonal park recreation employee Shihua and Shadiron Cutzlaw. 6.8, payment of the bills. And 6.9 was an addition, and that is to recommend the correction of step and grade for Dennis Maud, effective 1/3/2021, from the grade 20, step A at $27.65 an hour to grade 20, step B at $28.20 per hour for FTO step. So with that, I need a motion for approval for the consent agenda.
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Commissioner Smith, a motion to approve. Need a second on that?
Second.
Second, Commissioner Clute. No discussion on that. We'll have a roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Smith,
Aye.
Clute,
Aye.
Robish,
Aye.
Bragg,
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. Number 7, bid quote items. With that, our assistant engineer is here, Dennis Bent. Would you come up and explain to us what 7.1 bid quote is?
Thank you, Mayor. This is for the wastewater treatment improvements we're doing. The Viton gaskets on the air piping, that was discussed in design and got missed, didn't get changed. The rubber ones would not handle the heat from the air piping, so we need to go to the Viton to handle the heat. And then the SBR outlet fittings with manholes. Contractor requested this change to add manholes instead of fittings for a cost deduct. And we are in favor of that because it'll make our life easier down the road. So looking for approval, asking for approval of the change order for $15,810 increase on that project.
Okay. Need a motion to approve.
Move to approve the change orders.
Second.
Commissioner Smith approves, second by Commissioner Robish. Any discussion on this item? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Smith,
Aye.
Clute,
Aye.
Bragg,
Aye.
Robish,
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. Thank you, Dennis.
Yep. You're welcome.
8, petitions and communications. 8.1, our city planner, Barry.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. This is a request to terminate a covenant that pre-exists from approximately 2008, I believe. The covenant was originally filed, in Huron we have an ordinance in the zoning law that says you can't have an accessory structure without a primary residence. So approximately July of 2006, they knocked a house down at 625 Utah Avenue Southeast. And then they signed a covenant with the city then to treat that remaining garage. They tied that to the lot adjacent to it immediately to the south through the use of a covenant at 635. Now they have had an offer and they would like to sell 635 Utah Southeast. And so they're asking for a release. Then, in addition to that, we will still require that the remaining garage on the north lot, 625 Utah Southeast, would then be coupled to a lot immediately adjacent to the north and the west on the alley at 352 6th Street Southeast. So it would be treated again as a single lot, rather than having to replat it. And Tucker had the city attorney go ahead and draft the termination of release, and that's what is in your packet.
Need a motion to approve?
I would move approval of the removal of the restricted covenant.
Thank you, Commissioner Roberts, moves approved. Need a second on this?
Second.
Second, Commissioner Bragg. Discussion on this topic. Commissioner Smith?
I just, maybe a little bit for clarification, I
Mhm.
apologize, I should have driven by the property. I drive by it too often, and I should know it, but, so am I to understand it correctly then, that what, basically what we're doing by removing that covenant, it separates the joining tenancy, if you would, of the neighbor, and converting that to kind of just flip-flopping ownership of that?
The ownership is by Tim Hofer LLC owns all three properties. So what you're doing is you're taking the middle property where that blank lot with a garage is,
Okay,
that was originally tied to the south lot, which had a residence and a garage. We're gonna unhook that, by releasing this covenant.
okay,
And then we're gonna place another covenant that will then take that garage and tie it to the north
the north
lot.
property,
And Tim owns all three of them.
okay. Yeah, that's the way I was understanding it.
Right.
I didn't catch we're gonna,
Right. So basically,
through this whole process, he's
yeah.
gonna be picking up on the
Yeah,
north
he's
side.
still gonna pick up on that north side because, again, without a variance, he can't have an accessory building without a
Got it.
residence.
Okay, thank you for the clarification.
Yep.
Any other discussion on this topic? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Smith.
Aye.
Clute.
Aye.
Bragg.
Aye.
Robish.
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. 9.1, our city attorney Tucker Gillespie, you can talk on this, please.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. This is the second reading of ordinance number 2223-5-131, Northwestern Corporation franchise. Seems as though we resolved any issues that were at last meeting, and this is just the second reading.
I will say that I did have someone from the public talk to me today about the liability issue on this. I said we took care of it last week, and he was concerned, so the public is aware, so I thought that was good. Any more discussion on this? Need a motion to approve, I guess.
So moved.
So moved by Commissioner Clute, second.
Second.
Second, Mr. Bragg. Any more discussion on this topic? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Smith.
Aye.
Clute.
Aye.
Bragg.
Aye.
Robish.
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye, thank you. That brings us to the conclusion of our meeting tonight, and I just have a little statement I want to read because,
Mayor, excuse me, do we have the COVID policy 29?
boy, I'm so ready to get rid of, I'm so ready to make my statement, I can't wait. 10.1. Nathan Hofer, I'm sorry, come on up, talk to us about the review of our coronavirus protection.
All right, so we've been wobbling this around for a while, but basically what I came down to with the revision to the COVID policy is that I removed all of our personal mandatory quarantine periods, and I replaced it with the phrase advise your health official about length of quarantine. In doing that, or where I got that from is I went to the CDC website, did a revision again, and that's basically what it said. It said, review your local health officials, and this is some of the recommendations they may make, and then it listed the length of quarantine. So that's where I got that verbiage from. I did remove the compensation from the city, so anyone that is going to need to take leave will have to use their sick leave. I didn't specifically state that in here, which may be something, you know, I talked to Tucker about it a little bit this afternoon. If maybe something we would want to edit and come back for reapproval to make it more clear that the city is not financially liable anymore, and that if you get a note from your doctor saying you have to stay home with COVID as any other sickness, you would have to use your personal accrued sick leave to receive compensation. That's something that's not in here, but I think would be a good idea to add for next week. So we approve this now, and then I'll come back with the revision. Any more questions?
Motion to approve,
I move to approve.
and a second.
Second?
Mr. Clute, there we go. Any more discussion any more discussion?
I do have one point.
Yes, Commissioner Smith.
In regard to that, Nathan, that under post-exposure procedures, you do have some language in there to address that concern. Medical documentation is required to receive leave, so.
That's a doctor's note, but that doesn't specifically, I mean, we're gonna get, you know, our luck, we're gonna have somebody on Monday come and say, hey, I got COVID, and now what's different, and why am I not getting paid? So I think it would be wise for us to spell it out there as clearly as we can, that, you know, leave doesn't mean the city's leave that we paid you, the COVID leave, it's your personal sick leave.
I see what you're saying.
Yep, that's what I'm saying. So, but yeah, I do think I need to clarify that some.
Okay.
And I guess it'd probably be good just to know why we're doing that, I think, and that's because the pandemic is winding down and the vaccine is available, so if somebody gets sick now, I think they should treat it like any other illness. Before we didn't have a vaccine and it was kind of taken over, I thought it was a good policy, but I do think it's good that we're making them take sick leave for it now,
And
at this point in
there's
time.
been one person use it in the last 3 months.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was great for, right away, people used it a lot, and it was a very good benefit for our people, that we didn't put them in any more strenuous circumstances than they already were. So I think it served its purpose, and we're on the right track, so.
So you, just for clarification, you said next week you'll probably come back to us then with your amended language?
Just to edit to it, yeah, to change, to clarify the sick leave thing would be.
Thank you.
Seeing no other discussion, we'll have a roll call vote, please.
Smith.
Aye.
Clute.
Aye.
Bragg.
Aye.
Robish. Harrington.
Aye. Thanks, Nathan. Now, getting to what I was going to talk about. This is the last night Commissioner Clute is going to be our commissioner. Our new commissioner has to be sitting in the stands right now, so we're looking forward to having him up here next week. But as far as Doug goes, Doug's been a valuable member of our commission for 7 years. And he's been a good example for us because he has probably had 90% attendance, I believe. I didn't keep track of every day, but you were here, I would say 90% of the time.
Oh, I would say so.
Yeah, so that's a good example. You also been a good steward of our taxpayers' money. You always were looking out for the underground, or the underdog person. And that brought a lot of that to light for all of us. You always ask why. You ask why a lot, really a lot. But you also had a lot of solutions. So that's the only way you can ask why a lot. You have to have a lot of solutions to it. You had that, so we appreciated that too. And we also appreciate your point of view. You always had a point of view. Sometimes you even changed my point of view after I listened to you, so that's a good sign. So I appreciate that on a personal basis. I know that you and your family will be a continued valuable members of our community. I just want to thank you for putting your time in and the effort that you did for the 7 years. And will be missed. So with that, I'm going to have you gavel this baby dead. We're done.
Well, before I gavel it in, though, I just want to thank you guys and Mayor Paul Elward, because I've really enjoyed working with you all, and all of the wonderful staff that the city has, and it's a great staff, and it's been a real enjoyable experience for me. So, and good luck, you guys, and you too, Drew. I'm sure you'll do a great job. And with that, we'll be adjourned.
Yeah, all right.